Sal, where do you stand on DJ LeMahieu to the New York Mets?
You know, it's so weird, John, because this whole time I've been thinking, well, the Yankees can't lose him. They have to bring him back. And that's the one-track mind that I have, focusing on LeMahieu with the Yankees, because they can't lose him. I don't care what other moves they make. But when you start to bring the Mets into the picture, which is now realistic, hey, I mean, he's a great option. One of, if not the best option on the free agent market. So they and anybody else who can afford him should be involved. I think the Mets should be looking at LeMahieu. Even without the Cano stuff, they probably should have maybe for third base. But especially now with Cano, why not? Because they have two spots where they can play him at second and third. And, hey, if the Yankees can't afford DJ LeMahieu, then you know what? Stinks to be them, and the Mets should jump on that.
You know what? 2 MVP-type years in the Bronx. Andy, what does LeMahieu's market, though, look like?
John, the intro was a roller coaster for me. I was laughing when you said Velvet Meerkat. It was a great line. But then when you said there's buzz around the Mets and LeMahieu, I was deeply disappointed in you because there is none. There were people tweeting like, oh, the Mets should do that. But then there was a legitimate report from me last night saying that's not going to happen. So the Mets are not likely for LeMahieu in the market for that. I'm very disappointed in the way you set up this segment. So I want to put that on the record. And look, he's a guy who's going to be in demand. He is in very much demand. It's no slam dunk that the Yankees will get him, even though they very much want him. Excuse me, the Blue Jays are a team, for example, that you hear is a possibility for LeMahieu among many others. So this could take a little while. I think there's a really good chance that he comes back to the Yankees, but there's definitely not total confidence on the Yankee side that that's actually going to happen.
Sorry to disappoint you, Andy. Good to see you, though. Remember how to spell F-U-N. Rec, how does Cano's absence enable the Mets to have more roster flexibility?
Well, look, you know, you eliminate, Cano from this lineup, and what it does is it takes away another one of those, and we've talked about it a lot, those guys who, they have a position, but it's more or less, they're really a DH, but they can play a position out in the field. Well, the Mets have several of those guys. They have for a couple of years now. And, you know, look, losing Ramos behind the plate was an addition for them because that was one of those guys who was really better DH, and he wasn't even that great of a hitter than he was a catcher. And then you have a guy like Robinson Cano, who at his age and, you know, everything else he was doing, look, he was a better hitter than anything else. And now you get rid of those two, and now you have the ability to move people around. McNeil can go from second to third to left field if you want him to or if you need him to. I prefer just sticking him at second base, letting him go there and not even worrying about a guy like DJ LeMahieu or anything like that, because you can go out and there's other options you can get for third base, or you have J.D. Davis in-house, and then you can go get a left fielder if you want.